Garcia wants to throw it. Got a man wide open. It's Alshon Jeffrey. Goes to 45, 50. Jeffrey on the run. 40, 30. One man to beat. 10-5. Alshon Jeffrey breaks it open. 71 yards.
Welcome to College Football Live. Alongside former Heisman Trophy winner Andre Ware, I'm Anish Shroff. Matt Millen also on the program. Steve Spurrier joins us in just a little bit. And boy, the roster of talent that he has assembled in Columbia, South Carolina.
To talk about why the triplets make South Carolina so balanced this year.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait for that. But this is a South Carolina team that comes into this season with great expectations. And why not? Look at what they did a year ago. South Carolina winning the SEC East last season for the first time. They're the favorites to do so again this year. Expectations, again, high. This is a team, you got to remember, though, that hasn't won 10 games since 1984. The schedule sets up really well. The Gamecocks have just 4 games outside of Columbia. They also don't have to face Alabama or LSU in the regular season. And they play Florida, but that's in Columbia. Last season, Marcus Lattimore made a big impact. This year, it's Jadeveon Clowney, the top defensive recruit, the top recruit in the country. He could play immediately. And Stephen Garcia, the quarterback, reinstated after being suspended twice during the summer. He was a second-team All-SEC pick last year. Joining us now on College Football Live, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier from South Carolina. And, Coach, I know it's been a tumultuous offseason for your quarterback, Stephen Garcia, recently reinstated after his 5th suspension. What was it about him that you said, you know what, he deserves another chance?
Well, Stephen keeps getting suspensions for really stupid things, and hopefully he's sort of grown up now. He's matured. He's changed his lifestyle a lot, and he's a more serious young man. And so we're hoping and believing that maybe, you know, he's finally learned that he's got to be a really mature quarterback if he's going to have a chance to lead our team to a big season. So he's done much better, and we expect him to really maintain that level throughout the season.
Now, is he going to be the starter, or is there going to be an open competition at quarterback?
Well, there is competition. There's competition. He should be the starter. We haven't really named him yet. We'll have a scrimmage this Saturday, and probably after the scrimmage Saturday, go ahead and name our starter if it turns out that way. But I always believe in competition, and but right now in the practices thus far, it looks like Stephen's going to be our quarterback unless maybe something will change this Saturday.
Your sophomore running back, Marcus Lattimore, said he wants to win the Heisman. Now, I know you've never been shy about being bold. What did you make of Lattimore making that kind of statement?
Well, I told Marcus, hey, that's okay to say I want to do that, but, you know, once the season starts, we don't need to be talking too much about individual awards. And if you allow the media to keep asking you about that, and if you keep talking about it, they will. So he said, I got you, Coach. I said, yeah, if he can win the Heisman, that's going to be great. And we'll let the media guys do most of the talking for him. But in the meantime, he just needs to concentrate on playing tailback and the one-back spot. And but he's a heck of a young man, and he's going to do everything to help our team have as big a year as possible.
He was terrific for you guys last year. So is it fair to say, as long as you have Lattimore, that we've sort of seen maybe temporarily the end of fun and gun?
Oh, who knows what kind of offense we'll have this year. If we're a good pass-protecting team, our quarterback makes good decisions, and receivers get open, then you throw the ball a lot. If that doesn't happen, then you run the ball a lot and play defense. So I don't know exactly what type of team we'll play. Hopefully Marcus is going to obviously get 25, 30 carries a game. I don't know that he'll get 40 a lot of games like he did last year. Had 40 against Florida and 37 against Georgia. Yeah. But that was what we thought was the best way to try to win the game, and it worked out for us.
You brought in the #1 recruit in the nation on the defensive side of the ball, in Jadeveon Clowney. What's his role going to be for this season?
Oh, Jadeveon's going to play. He's going to play. He didn't come here to redshirt, that's for sure. So he's out there right now, I think, with the second team defensive end. 3-4 scheme. We may blitz him up the middle or from the outside or wherever. But he's a young man that loves to play, and he's really a modest young man, got a good smile on his face, and he's a good teammate. All the guys love him, and he's blended in very nicely right now. So we're excited about Jadeveon, and he's going to be out there playing.
All right, certainly a lot of anticipation in Columbia for the upcoming season. Steve Spurrier, head coach of the Gamecocks, joining us on College Football Live. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, Anish.
All right, a big reason for the high expectations, the big three. We throw that phrase around a lot in sports, but South Carolina has Stephen Garcia, Marcus Lattimore, and Alshon Jeffrey. Lattimore, third in the SEC in rushing yards per game, 19 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, that was as a true freshman. Jeffrey, fifth nationally in receiving yards per game, and Garcia set career highs in passing yards and touchdowns. Today, Joe Shad had a chance to catch up with Lattimore.
Now, Marcus, I understand you gained 15 pounds in the offseason, but with temperatures around 100 degrees out here since practice started, how much have you lost, and how much do you hope to play at, and how will that help you this season?
I came into camp at about 235. Now I'm around 227, 228, so I lost about 8 or 9 pounds. But, I mean, I feel good at this weight, and I think I'm going to want to play at this weight.
Senior quarterback Stephen Garcia was away from the team for a while due to suspension. Since his return, what kind of changes have you seen? What kind of leadership has your quarterback shown?
You know, since the summer, he's just been leading us. You know, he's just been pushing us through all the workouts and everything. And, I mean, he's our quarterback, and he's going to be our quarterback this season. I'm really excited.
How do you think you stack up with the best backs in the SEC? And, you know, how do you feel about your Heisman chances?
I mean, I looked up to, Trent Richardson in high school. You know, he's one of my favorite. But, I think I'm up there. And, it's season time. You know, I'll let the Heisman take care of itself if I'm fortunate enough.
Just a sophomore, Marcus Lattimore. Gamecocks open with East Carolina and then a huge game in the SEC. Georgia Bulldogs, Week 2.
All right, so you just heard from Marcus Lattimore. Certainly a lot of expected from South Carolina this season. We're going to get Matt Millen in on the conversation in just a little bit. But first, Andre, let me start with you. Alshon Jeffrey at wideout, Marcus Lattimore at running back, Stephen Garcia at quarterback. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better trio of skill position players on offense anywhere in the country.
Yeah, we searched long and hard to find a team that could boast a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 1,000-yard receiver, and it's South Carolina and only South Carolina. It all starts, though, with Marcus Lattimore. He's the guy that makes it work for South Carolina. Big-time year as a true freshman last year. He dispels the adage that backs can't carry the football 25 to 30 times a game. He did it, almost did it in one game 40 times, over 1,200 yards and 17 touchdowns. It starts up front with him. He opens things up in the passing game for Stephen Garcia, who went over 3,000 yards last year in passing, 20 touchdowns to go along with it. Huge windows to throw the football into, and he's got a big-time target on the outside. Alshon Jeffrey, over 1,500 yards receiving a year ago. He's got large holes on the outside, often finds himself in one-on-one coverage because linebackers, safety types have to play close to the line of scrimmage and respect South Carolina's ability to run the football. One hand washes the other.
Right.
In this case, the other two for South Carolina.
And that's why Stephen Garcia, coming back from that suspension, so critical for South Carolina. Okay, let's get Matt Millen in on the conversation. Matt, they have the skill position players. Is that enough offensively in Columbia?
Well, they're going to have enough of the skill, like you said, but the whole thing to me is still going to come down to that offensive line. They lost a couple guys to graduation. They're going to have to replace that. And the one chink in the armor that you see with Garcia is he's not really a knight at the improv. When things break down and he has to take off, he struggles a little bit with that. So protection is going to be a big key. So I think that offensive line is going to have to do a good job for Garcia to play well.
Matt, defensively, this team struggled at times last year. Now they bring in Jadeveon Clowney, a couple of their stars, have another year of experience. How good can this defense be?
This defense on the front end is going to do pretty well. I think they're going to be able to rush the passer. Everybody's talking about Clowney, and it's unfair. I just saw a little snapshot of him this morning when I watched the practice, but he looks like a freshman in a lot of ways. Certainly you can see he has the great skills. He has the size. He can run. He's got good movement, but he's really unaware right now. He's learning a new position. He's getting schooled by some of the older players who are big and strong and fast, just like he is. And so I think you're going to have to wait to see how that's going to happen with Clowney. The good news, though, is on the other side, Devin Taylor is one of the top defensive ends in the SEC and the country, and the best defender they may have is Stephen Gilmore, the corner, who could probably go to the NFL right now.
Yeah, you look at South Carolina defensively, they've got a star on just about every level of the defense. Matt mentioned Devin Taylor, who's an outstanding defensive end. He'll have double-digit sacks. Stephon Gilmore is a good return man, good cover corner. And then Shaq Wilson returns in the middle. When you're talking about putting together a defense that can dominate opponents, you have stars on every level of the defense, and South Carolina can boast that this year.
Yeah, everyone talks about this great offense, but now when you have balance, all of a sudden the schedule shapes up. Who knows where this South Carolina team can go? And when you look at that schedule, they don't play Alabama, don't play LSU. Of course, they can meet those two teams in the SEC championship game. And East Carolina almost beat Virginia Tech a year ago.
Trap game October 15th at Mississippi State in Starkville. Look out.
Coming up here on College Football Live, find out